Hey, welcome to Board with Life News for March 19th. Today we're going to look at Castles of Mad King Ludwig, legendary Marvel villains, Dungeon Fighter, The Big Wave, Samurai Spirit, Lords of Ziddit, and the Kickstarter for Pay Dirt. Let's get to it. Hey, I'm Chris. Welcome to Board with Life News. We've got a ton of stuff, so I'm going to go quickly, but this might be a little bit longer than our normal news videos, so I apologize for that in advance. But a lot of companies are starting to release their upcoming games that are going to come out at Gen Con, so there's been a flood of kind of new game info, and we have a lot of info for Board with Life. The big info for Board with Life is we finished our Kickstarter for Season 2. We finished right above 200% funding. That is absolutely incredible. We are absolutely humbled. It's insane. And that means we hit every single one of our push goals, which means we're going to have 8 episodes, music from Big Giant Circles. We're going to have guest stars Rich Summer, Troy Baker, and Lisa Foyles. We're going to start doing a podcast. We're going to have a 24-hour live stream gaming marathon. And as a special bonus, as a last-minute push goal, Donald offered up some boudoir pics of himself that are going to be in the Dropbox. So it was just an absolutely crazy experience. It was amazing. We're so humbled. We finished out the last 12 hours of our Kickstarter with a gaming marathon that we live streamed on YouTube. In that, we played Alien Frontiers, Gravwell, Coconuts, Fearsome Floors, Takanoko, Love Letter, Coup, Spin Click Boom, One Night Ultimate Werewolf, Escape, Curse of the Temple, Board with Life, the metagame, the microgame, and No Thanks. And we finished out the whole thing, so you got to see us like as it closed live, and it was so much fun, and reading all you guys congratulations and stuff. It was awesome. Thank you to everyone who watched. Thank you to everyone who donated. A special thank you to John Kovalik, who did a challenge midway through our live stream where he said he would up his pledge to $500 if we could get $500 more in 30 minutes. And thanks to that, we were able to unlock our 8th episode and our final stretch goal of Lisa Foyles. So thank you guys so much. It was awesome. Now let's get into the news. First up is Castles of Mad King Ludwig. This is a tile placement game for 1 to 4 players. It's designed by Ted Alspach, who designed Suburbia, and it's from Bezier Games. It's an interesting game where you score points based on the type of room and the size of room while you're building all this castle, and it's got cool artwork. It's got a cool mechanic where there's a master builder, and that player gets to set the price of all the rooms while players go around and buy them, and then you get the last pick of the rooms if you're the master builder, and then that goes to the person next to you. So it's kind of like a modified auction mechanic where you're not auctioning it, it's just one person setting the prices and people then decide if it's worth it or not. It looks really cool. Suburbia is blowing up and has been blowing up for a year now, so really excited, looking forward to that game. Next up, legendary Marvel villains. There's not a whole lot of information on this game, but it is a standalone game in the legendary universe. It looks like it's going to basically be Legendary, which had Marvel superheroes, but now you're going to be able to play as villains, which actually kind of works better with the theme because it's like a sort of co-op game, but also competitive, so like competitive game, which doesn't make a lot of sense for superheroes, but makes a lot of sense for supervillains that they team up, but also betray each other. There's no images on it yet. Maybe it would be compatible. It would be really cool if it was compatible and maybe have like a different set of rules how you could mash them up together, but no word on that yet. I'll keep you posted as news comes out for that. Up next is Dungeon Fighter, The Big Wave. This is the second big expansion for Dungeon Fighter, which is a very silly dice rolling dexterity game where it's kind of like a dungeon crawl thing. It's very fun, very silly. And this expansion is going to add new masters, new equipment, a new pirate hero, new maps, and special rooms. And it's going to add Cthulhu as a boss, which I think makes this a record. It's the first game to ever make it through 2 expansions before adding Cthulhu. Everybody remembers Carcassonne, Cthulhu, and Cathedrals. Which actually, now that I mention it, would be kind of a good retheme where you'd have like minion meeples laying down and taking control of... Never mind. Anyways, Dungeon Fighter, it's going to have new dice as well. It's a fun game, very silly. I recommend it if you're into that kind of thing. We got a little bit of news on Samurai Spirit from Funforge. It's going to be the new game coming out from Antoine Bauza. He's sticking with his Japanese theme that he's been doing with Hanabi and Takanoko and Takkaido. There's virtually no information about this yet. We just have the box image, and actually recently Antoine Bauza tweeted an image of them playtesting it, so you can glean whatever you can from the prototype of that game as to what it's going to be. I've heard rumored that it's going to have part of a Hanabi mechanic in it, where it's kind of that cooperative, weird table thing where you're having to help everybody at the table. But I have no idea if that's true or not. So don't quote me on that, but that'd be pretty interesting if it did. I guess one of the big news this week is Lords of Zidit. I guess that's how you pronounce it. Zidit? I don't know. But it's by Regis Bonesse. I'm sorry, I can't pronounce people's names ever. So, but he's the guy who designed Seasons. And this looks like it's a retheme of his game that came out in 2002 called Himalaya, which I have no idea why he would think that like a fantastical fantasy realm with magic and all that stuff would be more interesting than the original theme, which was a caravan of yaks moving from one town to another. But it's a pick up and deliver game with area control mechanics and movement programming, so you constantly have to be looking a couple turns ahead and trying to figure out what other players are trying to do a couple turns ahead. So it looks pretty interesting. Seasons had beautiful artwork and a great theme, so it is probably should be a pretty good game. And now for Kickstarter. This week's Kickstarter corner is for Paydirt. This is by Tori Neiman, who designed Alien Frontiers, which was an absolutely amazing game. It's one of our absolute favorites here at Board with Life, and it's incredibly hard to get a hold of because it was just available through Kickstarter. So this is his new game. It's a worker placement game where you're mining for gold in Alaska. One of the main complaints about Alien Frontiers was that it sometimes had a lot of downtime between turns because while it's a worker placement, it's a dice placement, so you couldn't really plan your next turn until you had rolled your dice, and you don't get your dice back until it's your turn. So that was one of the complaints. Well, it looks like he totally took that to heart and fixed that, because this is a worker placement that has simultaneous placement and simultaneous resolve. So almost everything in the game, everyone does all at once. So it can play super fast. Rahdo did a fantastic run through of it. So definitely go search for that on YouTube for Paydirt and look at that if you want to get an idea of how it plays. Crash Games is publishing it. It needs help on Kickstarter right now. It's only about half its funding goal, and I really want this game, so please go give money for it. But honestly, he's a fantastic designer, and it looks like an absolutely great game, and I don't know why more people aren't backing it. It's $50 for the base game right now on Kickstarter, so go head over and do that. And that is the news for this week. Again, thank you guys so much for your support on the Kickstarter. As you can see, we're still recovering my game shelf. I haven't put everything back up since the 12-hour live gaming marathon, but we are hard at work. We're already writing, we're already scheduling, we're already getting things going for Season 2. We have a new bit coming out Tuesday. It is on Tokaido, which is one of my favorite games, and I wrote and directed it, so I hope you tune in, and I hope you like that. And please like, subscribe, all that stuff. Like always, you guys are awesome. This week's question comes from Levi Bayer via Twitter, and he asks, what are your favorite board game phone apps? The ones that I play the most, I have quite a few of them, are Ticket to Ride, Carcassonne, and San Juan. And I think I play those the most because them being small doesn't matter much because I play them on my phone, and I can finish a whole game against a computer in about 15 minutes, so I can squeeze them in a whole bunch. I don't do a lot with other gamers live on my phone. I do a little bit of that on the computer, but not live. Ones, if we expanded this from phone apps into iPad apps or phone apps that I would rather play on the iPad, Lords of Waterdeep, Agricola, and Alien Frontiers all have really good iPhone apps, or iPad apps, or iPhone apps that I play on the iPad. And I like those a lot, and I would recommend those. But lots of good stuff on the iPhone and iPad, and I really like doing that kind of stuff. So that's it for the news this week. Thanks for tuning in, and I will see you next week.